about trying that shit on me. 'Cause I still can't sleep without medication, and I let my thoughts run wild while I still think I got one, and I hear too much about my reputation, and I'm tired of sleeping on this floor.
Little Timmy Mingle, Church and Trains, the intro there. You're back.
Yes.
Part 2.
I am glad to be back.
Well, not banging beers this time.
No, we are sipping wine.
We're sipping. I still have a beer.
It's one of the new. It's going to be one of the newest podcasts on your network.
Yeah,
Sipping wine.
Sipping wine. I'm not a wine guy, but I'm slowly turning the corner. This was actually a Christmas gift. Apothic. I have 3 bottles, and I was like, this would be perfect for the episode with you. So we busted it out. I'm still drinking my beers.
Yep.
I need to
Look. I get it. It takes a while. It takes a while to come over, but when you are, it's great.
I had this situation where I was at a show recently, and there was a wine. Can you hear yourself fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, but we were doing wine there, and it's kind of like being at a brew fest.
Yeah.
And you walk up and you're like, try our beer. And you're like staring them right in the eyes as you're trying their beer. You're like, I hope to God I like this.
Yes.
And then when you're like,
Yeah.
but I haven't had a wine that I haven't really disliked.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing stuff with that Loki and Layla Candle. In
Okay.
in Frackville, in Pottsville.
Yeah.
And every time I'm usually there doing a recording, there's a winery there doing like samples. And both wineries I've experienced were really good. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to we went to a wine tasting in Bloom. I want to say like it had to be like the spring or the summer. It was like nice out. I only know the time period based on the weather outside, I guess. It was lovely. I love going around and just drinking as much wine as I'd like to. They try to trick you because they give you like this little tiny cup. I'm like, I can get as many as I want. You can't fucking stop me. So it is a blast.
Yeah.
I love wine tastings now.
I think that's like the illegal way around it. Like if we give you this cup, it's on you to not be a savage.
To not try to, destroy yourself. And I'm like, challenge accepted.
And everyone in Pennsylvania is like, this cup? Challenge, yeah.
Fine.
We're going in.
Bring it on. I'm going to end it. It's over.
So if you haven't watched the Bangin' Beers episode we did, boy, was it a shit show.
Are we going to try to make this one shorter than the last one?
Yeah, we'll give it a shot.
My one friend was like, he was listening to it or watching it. I think he was watching on YouTube rather. And he's just like, I tried, but it is so long, man.
You have to break it up.
You just break it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like Avengers Endgame. If you can't sit in the theater the whole time, you got to go twice.
Yeah. That we're definitely a podcast where you probably break them up. I call us, we're like the car ride podcast.
Yes.
So like if you're driving, you have like a 30-minute commute to work, listen to on the way to work and listen on the way home.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you can knock out an episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've had friends that say that's how they listen to my podcast.
Yeah.
Like they're just like I take it on the way and I take it on the way back cuz I try to like go like an hour. I try to get like an hour and sometimes I do. Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's not.
I've been averaging about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes.
That's good though.
2 hours the most.
That's good. Is that for specifically this?
For all 4 shows.
For all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the wrestling show, the other 2 shows have, well, all three other shows now have a team to it. So Bangin' Beers isn't just me and Ben anymore.
Right.
It's me, Ben, Andrew Hare, Jason, a new guy we added, and then we have like 3 or 4 rotating people if Andrew or the other people can't make it. So the team is now 3 main guys with rotating like 3 or 4 people. And the reason we did that is because I've had some guests on who are not craft beer drinkers.
Huh?
And not just that, like, but you can handle alcohol. Like you drink wine, you're a veteran.
I'm
you got
a pro
it.
at this.
So if I have a bunch of beers with you, you're gonna be okay. Some people can't do that.
Oh no.
So then I'm like, so a lot of times I'd be like, all right, I'm doing an episode, and then right when you guys leave, I'm recording again because I'm an animal when it comes to productivity. So they'll be like, I'm not good. And I was like, all right, just to go hang out on the couch for a little bit.
Rotate.
Yeah.
We're going to tag somebody else in.
And it was easier for Ben. Obviously, you got to experience Ben when it's just me and Ben drinking beers.
Yes.
Yeah, he goes in.
Yeah.
So I think that same can split between 3 people. Everyone kind of leaves chill. No one's really intoxicated.
Yeah.
And we can knock out more beers in one episode because 5 beers between 5 people is not bad. It's like going to a taster.
Right.
So I think it works better.
Yeah.
The Ben episode was Billy loved it. It was one of Billy's favorite episodes. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Ben with the Superman. He was made by a Jewish guy, or the Jews or something. You're just like, go ahead, elaborate more.
Oh yeah, like keep digging that grave, man. You keep digging that grave.
Ben, behind what actually happened that night is Ben drank all night the night before.
So he was still like semi-drunk when he got here.
Right. So he drank all night the night before and woke up with my text saying, "You're not on this episode if you don't get here in 5 minutes."
Right.
So we literally, as we hit record, he was just walking in the door. Yep. And then he immediately had his first drink of beer, and it brought him right back to the night before.
It was over at that point.
He was already glossed over.
Yeah.
And I'm just staring at him like, you're already smoked. I'm just staring at him so...
I had a great time.
I'm happy you did. I was terrified.
I had a great time. I definitely can see why you were like, this might be the last episode of this ever.
Well, here's the thing. Ben is a sweetheart. I love Ben to death. But Ben is Michael Scott.
Oh, God.
So Ben can say stuff that can be offensive.
Yeah.
But he doesn't mean it to be offensive.
That it is.
Yes.
Like, and no offense to him. I don't know him super well, so now I'm just projecting based on Michael Scott.
Yeah.
He's a lovable doofus.
Yes.
Okay.
That is Ben. That is 100% Ben. Yeah. Like, we went to a concert one time, and after the concert, we went to this club. There was a bar, and there was a black R&B soul band playing.
That's pretty cool.
It was fucking awesome.
Where was that at?
In Stroudsburg, where the Sherman Theater is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ben, Michael Scott, walks in.
Oh, no.
And just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, this is like, we're the only white people here, right? So Ben was like, is drinking and dancing, and he's walking on stage trying to high five everybody, right?
No.
Right? And then, they did, they're just laughing at him.
Yeah.
So I'm watching Ben, and he's talking to these two people, and Ben has his arms around them, and he's like this, and I'm like, I'm going to intervene here. What's going on? And I walk up to Ben going, you know what? I don't care that you guys are black. I love yous.
That's gotta no.
But in Ben's mind, he was trying to show them that he doesn't.
Right.
He's not.
That he's like, oh no, I'm. This is completely like, I'm super progressive. I don't care about race.
Yes.
But it's coming off as, look, even though you guys are black, that's what that sounds like. That's what that sentence sounds like.
And I was just like, he's drunk. Ben, come on.
He needs to go to bed.
Yeah, and that's the best way I can describe Ben. He's Michael Scott.
Yeah,
he does.
That's a Michael Scott sentence that you just said.
Yeah, he's a fucking animal.
That is a Michael Scott sentence.
And he becomes more Michael Scott the more he drinks.
That's not good. That's a bad sign.
Because his judgment gets clouded, and he just keeps going more off the cuff and doesn't process.
At what point, how many drinks does it take for him to get to prison, Mike?
I've never seen that. He just gets more and more Michael, and then just passes out.
For me, it's Michael Scott, Date Mike, and then Prison Mike.
He turns into Date Mike.
Oh no!
Yeah,
nice to meet me.
Yeah.
Oh no!
When he's talking to girls, he turns into.
That's not.
Yeah. Like, he's like Michael until he realizes that there's an opportunity there, and then he's like, "I'm on a date," and then he goes to the car and puts the hat on.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, but obviously now we're on interviews, so it's not banging beers anymore.
Right.
So if you didn't see the banging beers, you want to give a little talk about your podcast, what you do?
Yeah, I do a couple of podcasts actually. The main one I do is called Alcoholitics. Me and at this point my wife, but she's obviously, if you listen to episodes, she's starting to become the show's slowly destroying her. But we get drunk and we talk about the news that's going on right now
in politics.
In politics, yeah. And
now
it's a real fun time.
Here's the question, because politics right now is a super hot button topic.
Yes.
It's almost like wrestling in the 90s.
Yes.
It really is. Like,
yes.
If you are pro-Republican, you are not allowed to even think or like anything a Democrat's doing, and vice versa. Like, it's almost to the point where if you're extremely one side, like each side, like if you're into politics, you are on your camp, and there's no breaking that.
Yeah.
And then there's like a guy like me in the middle who are just like, I like a little of that. I like a little of that. And people are like, you should fucking hate that. You should fucking. Yeah. So how do you guys tote the line with that?
We're okay. So with us, we are unapologetic progressives. We're very progressive people. We're, super to the left. We are very honest about that. We don't make any sort of, lies about that. But we spend most of the time, because this is currently a Democratic primary, we spend most of our time criticizing Democrats. Like, if you like listening to people criticize Democrats, if you are like really annoyed with Democrats, fucking our podcast is for you.
Yeah.
Like, we spend a lot of time just going at Dems because we care about our party and we want our party to be, overall good. So sometimes to make something good, you have to break it down as to what they're doing wrong and what huge problems they have. But we also have, we have like Republican guests that come on. We've had we've had one of my friends, Kyle, who voted for Donald Trump. He comes on the podcast. My former professor, Dr. Strine, is an unabashed lover of Donald Trump and everything he does.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys. Even if Donald Trump fucks up, his he makes all.
He meant to do that.
Yeah.
No. What he meant was this. Well, it's not really. He comes on the podcast. He hasn't come on in a bit, but he comes on the podcast, and we keep trying to schedule a time for him to come on. I don't mind other views. It's just we have open debates about what's the right thing to do, what's correct, what is, factual versus fiction, and it's a good time. And we get drunk while doing it. So sometimes it devolves into just talking about the Avengers for 45 minutes.
Which is right up my alley. I like those little side tangents.
Yeah.
I think the last thing politics I followed, listen, when the president's on, regardless of what party they are, I feel like as a nation we should listen.
I agree.
Like, I know there's people who are, if they're far left, they're like, if he's on TV, I won't even watch it. And I think that's a mistake.
That's a big mistake.
I think if you are into that, even in the slightest, you should definitely watch and kind of follow it.
Yeah.
I think he's hilarious. As someone who enjoys comedy, I haven't had this much fun with a president since Bush.
Yeah. I think he's unintentionally hilarious.
Yeah, he's fucking amazing.
And I think there are times where he is really funny, like just genuinely him. He's makes a joke and it is funny.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away from all the horrible stuff that he does, but sometimes he can be absolutely hilarious. I do watch him. I try to watch him when he's on TV.
Yeah.
When he says stuff, because usually when he says stuff, you're like, hey guys, sometimes he just goes on like an interview and confesses to committing a crime.
Yeah.
And then we're like, wait, what? Why isn't anyone doing it? Oh, that's right. Cause we don't take him seriously about anything he says.
Yeah. He can do whatever he wants.
Right. And it's just like, no, guys, he just said he did the crime that we've been telling everybody he did.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know.
Who cares?
I watched the State of the Union.
That was horrible.
Yeah. But when you analyze it from a standpoint of you're about to go into an election campaign against this person, right? You have to figure out what their plan is to do, and he telegraphed his plan pretty well. He brought out people of color and did great things for them in that speech. He made sure to pick people from specific states, i.e., he had a black girl from Pennsylvania. He had a person of color from Arizona. Again, like swing states that he crucially needs to keep hold of to say the president.
Yeah.
And then he also threw that juicy red meat to his base of giving the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Rush Limbaugh. Yeah. Like he did.
From a standpoint, he nailed it.
From a political standpoint, he did a fucking great job, and now he's going to go stump on that speech. And it's gonna go well for his base, and then it gets the people who were like I don't know, he does seem kind of like he gets weirdly racial, or he's sometimes super racist. They're like, oh well, look, he did some great stuff for people of color. I don't have to feel so much like shame about supporting him because he's clearly not racist. Look what he just did.
Yeah.
Or he literally took the YouTube, what videos do you like watching on YouTube? I don't know. Families reuniting with service members. Fuck, let's do that in the State of the Union. I think it was a highlight after highlight after highlight for him, which is what he needed.
Yeah. I seen it as an outside person. He would go up and he'd be like, I like sausage, and everyone just everyone stands up and clap. Like, he could have said anything, and they'd like. I was like, Jesus Christ, do we have to stand and clap after like some of the stuff he says is not even that important?
No, there were a lot of like sentences that like had no meaning, and they still stood up and clapped, and were like, wait, what?
They clapped at like 4 times in one sentence. Like, he didn't even get the full paragraph out, and they clapped 6 times in it.
I think one of my favorite parts,
and they do that to Democrats as well, to be fair.
Yeah, they do. But I will say, I don't think I saw this much clapping.
Yeah.
But again, I'm like 20. Shit, how old am I? 28, I think. Yeah. I haven't seen that many that I can remember besides, this one and Trump. I don't know how much I was paying attention during the Bush administration when I was like 10 or 11. But I do think... with this, there was so much clapping. He had built into his speech places for people to clap, and sometimes he was surprised when there was no clap.
Yeah.
Like, he would stop a sentence and go look around, and then slowly everyone would go, oh, okay, yeah.
This is us.
Shit, that's our cue, guys.
All I know is if the Republicans, they didn't skip leg day that day, because they got some squats in.
That was like, I don't remember what denomination, but I know I went to a church once.
Oh.
And there was one where you had to like keep
your quads are
burning.
They're burning.
Kneeling down and standing back up. And I'm like, what the shit is this? This is what that was.
Yeah.
They were like, it was the Church of Trump, and the service was in that day.
And the best part is like, and then when he would throw in like, here's a black dude who's part of the military, and everyone just like, and the Democrats like, fuck, now we got to stand up and clap, and we don't want to do that. They were so transparent.
Yeah, there were clearly like lines where it's like, if you don't clap, we're going to destroy you in the media.
If the best way to describe it is, if you want to see through politics, just watch pro wrestling.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's literally storylines, but the fucked up thing is it's our fucking future.
It's storylines from wrestling, but like the nuclear codes are involved.
Yes, yeah, we could die.
So like, it's pretty bananas. It's banana, but it's political theater, and unfortunately, that exists in both parties.
Yeah,
that exists across the political spectrum. If there's one thing that all of these like people who are running our country agree on, it's that sometimes I gotta act, baby. Sometimes I gotta go out there and I gotta be the heel or I gotta be the hero.
Yeah, Hillary is great for that.
Yeah,
for most of her early campaign, she was against gay marriage, and then she's like, Hillary, you need some votes. Love the gays.
Well, I think that you can make that criticism for like a lot of prominent Democratic candidates, right? Like Barack Obama didn't when he first was elected. He and Joe Biden, when they were a ticket, I don't think Obama said it too often, but Joe Biden did say, I believe it was on a debate stage, Barack Obama and I do not support gay marriage, which that's a lie. Obama fucking did.
Yeah.
Like, Obama clearly did, but he couldn't say out loud, yeah, I'm cool with this. So you had candidates that were like just clearly lying about what they were thinking because they didn't think mainstream America was ready for that.
Yeah, I think secretly, and this is not taking shots if you're a Trump supporter. I know you're all not the same. I'm not generalizing. But
he's about to generalize the shit out of you guys.
But I think Trump played to a certain crowd.
Yeah.
And that crowd has been hidden for a long time.
Yeah.
And to be blinded, and I'm not coming as a Democrat, I'm not coming as a Republican or anything. I'm just coming as a guy who's in the middle, who just thinks like this whole thing is a facade. Mm-hmm. But if you don't think that our country, because I've talked to Trump supporters, because I have friends on both sides.
Well, you live in Schuylkill County. Yeah. You don't have a choice but to interact with.
I've had a conversation where it's been told that racism was almost gone.
No.
And Obama brought it back, and Trump is getting rid of it. And I went, no. Listen, having Obama in president intensified it.
Yeah.
Because more people were getting more comfortable saying how much they disliked him, not for his politics,
right,
not because he was Democratic, mostly because he was Muslim and he was also black.
Right, but he's not Muslim.
Yeah.
That was the crazy part.
Yeah, well,
like, it got in the vernacular that he's Muslim, he's born in Kenya,
yeah,
he has a secret gay lover. Like, a lot of those things happened, we're like, wait, what?
Yeah. And I think Trump just kind of, he catered to that crowd without really saying it, but people like read between the lines.
But here's the thing. He actually did. He did heavily go after the president, the former president, while he was the president, including launching like this faux investigation into
for his birth certificate,
where he would then say, "Oh, I got the best guys on it, and they found some stuff, and you're not going to believe the stuff that they found." One, he never released what that stuff was, and two, of course we shouldn't fucking believe what it was. It wasn't true.
Yeah. And then they were just like, "Well, how about, all right, I'll show my birth certificate when you show your tax returns." Which was awesome recovery. But so he definitely played into a crowd, and it just really like it's to the point where it's just disgusting. Like it's for racism right now in our country is not an all-time high, but
pretty high.
It's high again. It's because people are comfortable to being like, "Oh, I can't say what I want, bro." You know what I mean? Like, no, just you should respect each other.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of I think people of color know racism never like goes away.
Yeah, 100%.
This is never dormant. We're like, no, we know. We feel it.
People mistake freedom of speech for being openly hateful, and that's not that's not. I mean, listen, it does go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. It really does. Like if you give someone the freedom of speech, they have the freedom to say what they want.
Right.
But if you are also I'm going to throw religion in here, a devout Christian, and you believe in a God and you believe in this, then you should also not judge one another and actually show respect to each other.
I think we have a lot of people that like will criticize what they call political correctness when really they're just like, why can't I just outright say horrible things?
Yeah, why can't I just
people?
be an asshole?
And it's just like,
and you can, but we have the ability to say you are an asshole for doing it.
People then like, you know, something happens, they're you know, you're a prominent member of society, you say something horrendously racist and you lose that prominence, you lose that place, like your job or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then people are like, well, that's not fair, it's freedom of speech. Like you like being able to call someone out like because of who they are and not face ramifications isn't indoctrinated in the Constitution. That's not what that means.
If you're a boss of a company or a CEO of a company and you are involved with people's paychecks and people's lives and you openly say, I don't like this person because of this.
Right.
You shouldn't be in your position.
And there's no legal right for you to stay there if your, you know, shareholders of that company think that you are a detriment to business.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, sometimes racism is bad for business.
It really, you're holding people back. Like, I'm not going to hire this guy because I used to, like my friend, we both have the same name, and he would go and apply for jobs. Like, man, I'm so happy that my mom named me Tony. She's like, why? Because people see my name, my application, and I get a call back.
Yeah.
Where my brother, who doesn't have he has more of a biblical name, we'll say, puts his name on the application and he doesn't get a call back ever. Like, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely...
And that's a smaller scale. That's a guy running a fucking factory or a guy running a shoe store. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good.
No, I agree. As someone named Terrayne Myricks, I fucking agree.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of callbacks.
Well, no, I'm lucky enough to have a very good job right now, and it's afforded me the ability to, you know, like I see myself in I'm lucky and I'm in a position I can like say I'm in a position of privilege right now, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't experience something that like many others experience. Like I'm currently in a good paying job. I'm not, you know, fighting to continue living, but like I still, you know, so I like use that. Like I think it's important to like have recognize that privilege that I have, and you know, speak for people who unfortunately like, or try to at least shine light on like for when people don't have that.
Yeah. So I think I'm trying to just throw more politics stuff at you, but I'm not super diverse on it. But I did read something that it talked about how Trump is looking to get rid of the student forgiveness loan.
Yes, he's looking to, which is not great for me. Literally not great for me, because if I stay in my position, because I'm currently I work for the state, so civil service. In X amount of years, my wife also has a position in civil service. I think, I don't remember the specifics, but I think it's like, for her, it's like 5 years, me it's 7, some shit. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But our student loans will be forgiven after a certain amount of years in the position. He is trying to do away with that, which is a huge problem. And this is like we've talked about this where Trump's presidency hasn't really hit us in a way that's more like economic, right?
Yeah.
We have good paying jobs. We can afford rent. Our bills aren't skyrocketing. Things are going well economically for us. This is like the one time where this could actually be a big old problem for us. Mm-hmm. And we don't see what the reasoning is behind it for like I don't get it. I don't see what the benefit for the country is other than disincentivizing people to go to school. I don't know. And not everyone should go to school. You know what I mean? Like, you can go to trade school, you can go to a 4-year college, you can go to a 2-year college, you can go right into the workforce. Doesn't matter. But we shouldn't make it so that people don't want to go to any of those specific things. I think that's bananas.
Yeah.
And I don't see the good that it does in the nation that outweighs how fucked people can be because of it.
So reading into it a little bit and seeing the comments and just using social media as a platform, which is not always smart, but
no.
But I always try to look at everything objectively. Like, I try to see both sides, and I know there's people who in the comments were like, "Well, listen, you take a loan, you should pay it," which I can get behind. Mm-hmm. I see people say, well, I picked a school that was more affordable. I picked a school that was this. I picked a school, and then I worked to pay that off. So, you know what I mean? Good on you. Mm-hmm. You were fortunate enough to get a career that can help you pay for your school and stuff like that. That's not the case for everyone.
Yeah.
And I don't think just because you were able to do that, you should turn your back. It's like kind of like, to me, I look at it as like, I can afford food every day. I can afford electricity.
Right.
Doesn't mean the guy down the street is not struggling. And I just think as humans we should, and is this like a socialist thing I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where we should help each other.
Gross.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
What a scumbag.
All right, Bernie Sanders, how about we relax? No, I think that's important. I definitely think that, a lot of people have this idea, and it comes back to...
I think secretly I'm a socialist.
Oh.
I think so. I think the more I kind of break down myself,
yeah,
I just think we should work with each other. Listen, I don't think I should go to work and work 40 hours a week and pay for someone who just doesn't want to work. But if I go to work 40 hours a week and some of my salary can help someone who maybe has a disability or they physically can or they have issues, I have no problem helping that person.
I agree.
I rather my taxes go to helping other people than making politicians rich. That's just how I look at it.
Yeah.
I think these people make way too much money. I think corporations make way too much money. Mm-hmm. We're paying crazy taxes, and people who have money don't pay any.
Amazon has paid less taxes than you.
Yes.
I think that's one of the most important.
I buy 18 things from Amazon.
Oh no, I fucking use Amazon all the time. I won't lie. I use Amazon all the time. But I think one thing that's very important, and I think any Democrat that's running for office right now, like any Democrat that's running for like a major office, i.e. the presidency, should be out talking about this every single day.
Bernie does.
I think that he does, because he and the one weird thing that he and Donald Trump have in common is they both hate Jeff Bezos. I think it's just for different reasons. But they need to go out there and make that economic message strong and known to the public. This is a big problem. Why are you paying more taxes than Amazon? You shouldn't be. Yeah. Let's fucking do something about that.
If Amazon paid their taxes, we can probably have free healthcare.
We can fund a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Medicare for all that keeps getting bounced around. That could definitely be fun. We can stop talking about possibly cutting Social Security, because we can make that shit solvent. Yep. We can afford universal pre-K. We can afford a lot of different things if we stop beating around the bush and allowing corporations to do kind of whatever they want to. Mm-hmm. It's bad that we do that, and I don't understand why Democrats don't take that really take that message and fucking blow it up and megaphone it to the American people. But then sometimes it's because
they're also in
part
the pockets.
Of the problem.
Yeah, because they're also in the same pockets as the Republicans.
They can be. Yeah, they sure can.
Because pretty much they're fighting for the office so they can all. Here's how I look at it, and I could be completely wrong. But
I think you're about to give a very cynical take on it.
I think whoever's in charge obviously can write their own checks. And if the Republicans are in there, they can swindle and do things that make sure they're in a good financial security, because that's what everyone's always looking for. Like when you go to your job, you're like, I'm happy staying here and making this. No, you want raises, you want to advance, you want to get promotions, you want to make more money, you want to provide for your family. I think that's the same thing that happened with politicians. I think they lose track of what their actual job is to then help the people and just looking to better advance themselves. And I think I could be wrong, but I think if you're in power, you have the opportunity to do that more.
I think that's fair to a point. I definitely think that there are politicians that I think a decent amount of politicians, and I'm going to be very, very idealistic. And this could sound super naive. But I truly think that a lot of politicians, when they originally get into politics, when they originally get into running for local office, trying to, I think they really want to make a difference in their community. I think they really want to make a difference in the world, and they want to make the world better for whatever reason on either side. I think some people on the right think that, the certain things that they want to fight for, they're like, we want lower taxes because it'll help people in our community have more money to spend and survive and that kind of thing. I think people on the left are like, well, we want, everyone to have health care because we want to see less people die. We want the U.S. to not have one of the worst infant mortality rates anymore. I think they get into it for that. And I think definitely some politicians get super influenced by major corporations that line their campaign pockets. And they have to then make real bad decisions, or they don't have to. They choose to make real bad decisions based on who's backing them and for what reason. Yeah. And then it's
like, we want to end the opiate problem, and then they're like they start in the local thing and they move up and they're like, asshole.
It's like, too bad.
We're paying you.
Right. I can't do anything because Procter & Gamble's giving me all this fucking money. Yeah. Like Johnson & Johnson's paying me out the ass, so I can't.
They get fined or sued?
I think the fact that the Sackler family isn't all in jail is pretty preposterous. They literally said things like, keep pumping them out, they're eating them like Doritos. They knew they were killing people, and they chose to continue doing it.
Because they make money.
Yes. These people need to be in prison. So many people died. And this is actually a weird. This is a really fun, not fun fact, but this is an interesting fact that I found. The opioid epidemic, these things overprescribing, because of the racism that people of color get at the doctor, this crisis kind of missed people of color because they're not overprescribed drugs. They don't get prescribed drugs the way that that white people get prescribed drugs. So this actually missed them. And I'm like, wow, look at that. Racism saves someone today.
or you look at this thing where the white guy gets overprescribed drugs. Yeah. And then sells them his extra pills to people on the street. And then that's
rough.
But you're not getting as big of a supply to urban communities that way as well. But yeah, definitely hit white people way harder.
West Virginia, the state of West Virginia is baffling what has happened.
Well, a lot Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania got hit as well.
Yeah, Ohio is huge with heroin and meth and stuff. Yeah, it's scary.
A lot of states got hit in this. This is. And it's a part, again, people try to link it back to, you can link it back to drug companies funding and pushing this on, hospitals and doctors, and then those doctors overprescribing this nonsense that isn't needed and getting people addicted to it so that when they don't have it anymore, or, if they somehow don't die when they have it, they will go in search of heroin to get that same high, and they'll die that way.
And it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's bananas.
It's a lot cheaper and it's a lot stronger.
This is a very fun conversation we're having.
I don't have these very often.
No.
And then when I do, they're like, what a weirdo you are, bro. Because I don't really, a lot of my friend base, they're not into politics at all.
Yeah.
They don't really care. And neither am I, but I do keep an eye on it because I think it's important too.
I think one of the major things that we run into is that people say that they're not into politics, which I get because you see it as the TV. It's Nancy Pelosi versus Mitch McConnell. And it's like,
I don't even know who Mitch McConnell is.
The Senate Republican leader, right? So, we see it in that frame. That's how we see politics. We see politics as people on TV fighting each other for whatever reason. We see the Democrats having debate number 18,442, where they have the same healthcare discussion, and Terrayne rips his hair out and eats it, hoping it kills him. But truly, the opioid epidemic, that is a part of politics.
Yeah.
Education in your neighborhood is a
Healthcare.
part of politics. Jobs in your neighborhood, healthcare in your neighborhood, that's all a part of politics. So people say they're not into politics, but really they're not into this like, you know, dog and pony show that they see on like fucking
TV.
MSNBC.
Yeah, wrestling's on 4 days a week. It's hard to. I got Monday Night Raw. I got Tuesday NWA Power and an AEW Dark. Wednesday I got NXT AEW. Thursday is my day off, and we talk about wrestling.
Where
and
we
then
talk about it, so you really don't have a day off.
And then Friday is SmackDown. And then Saturday usually is a local wrestling show,
Yeah.
and then Sunday is a pay-per-view.
Yeah. You got a lot. You got a lot of wrestling to
So
cover.
I don't, and that's just one of my shows. That's not even counting the other 3.
Yeah. You're like, you got a lot of wrestling to cover. I
so
get
people
it.
are like, "Yo, what do you think of Trump?" I'm like, "Dude, The Rock may come back at Mania."
I don't know. Did he get Stone Cold Stunner? No, he did. That's right. He
Yeah.
did at some point.
He did. Donald Trump did get Stone Cold Stunner, and he's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
First president to ever be Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, that's a great
So,
accomplishment.
regardless of what happens with his presidency, he can always hold on to
Ooh,
that.
I got another one for you.
Yes.
All right, so this is kind of politics, but kind of just people.
Yes.
I think it goes hand in hand because the people that were offended are the same people that voted for a guy.
Oopsies.
Super Bowl halftime show. How dare they put 2 brown people up there and not sing English-speaking songs?
I saw criticisms for it for like multiple reasons, and it was all by like the same people.
Yeah.
Where some were like, it's too risque and not family friendly. And then there were some who were like, oh, they had a Puerto Rican flag. Why don't they have an American flag? This is America. Again, just completely forgetting that Puerto Rico is a part of America.
Listen, I think a lot of people who are like, we don't watch the NFL anymore because they're not patriotic. Holy hell. Listen, I'm all about our troops. I'm about America, I guess.
I guess.
I just don't know.
I guess I'm about America.
I think people put on way too hard now.
I think it's-
I'm a fucking, like, I believe, like, listen.
It kind of like it moves from a place of patriotism and goes to like a place of nationalism.
Yeah.
Which can be very, very dangerous.
I think we're getting close to I think more people are on national. Like, you can't have an opinion on our country unless you didn't serve your country. And I think that's not a good, like.
Well, I think
it annoys me. Like, I went to boot camp and did 45 push-ups and then dropped out a year later. I have more of a say about our country than you. I'm like, no,
I
that's
think,
not how it works.
I think we see a lot of people that don't like when anyone criticizes the U.S. and the U.S.'s policies for whatever reason. And I think it's a fundamental to me, it's either one of two things. It's a disingenuous argument. In order to kind of just like subvert any criticism for the U.S. Like, oh, well, you just don't care about their troops or you don't care about our country or whatever. Or it's a fundamental misunderstanding of what is so great about this country. And the fact that people want to make sure that it stays a place where we have a freedom of expressing ideas and freedom to criticize when the U.S. does something bad.
Yeah.
When we had drone strikes under President Obama and it killed civilians, that's not good.
That's
and
not good at all.
ignoring that it happened or pretending that it didn't. I'll say a lot of conservatives did not ignore it at that time, and a lot of liberals did. Because they're playing for certain teams. It should be called out regardless of who the president is. George Bush was a very bad guy. And that shouldn't be a left or right statement based on like going into what we went into for the lies that the administration made up so that we went into it is bad. It's not good. Like saying that a country has weapons of mass destruction, so we have to go stop them, and then finding out that that was all fabricated and a lot of people lost their lives, including Americans, for that is fundamentally bad, regardless of if you were on the left or the right.
Yeah, I think it's because I listen to too much rock and roll too. Like, I grew up with War Pigs and Black Sabbath and stuff like that. So it's just like I just don't. I don't want to say like, oh, I'm so smart, but like I just don't fall for the shit. You know what I mean? Like they're like, hey, we're gonna go and do this. I'm just like, well, I wonder what the my first thought is I wonder what the underlying thing is.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, you're not patriotic. No, I just think it goes with anything. Once again, I'm a pro wrestling fan. If pro wrestling sucks, it sucks. You need to fix it. Or if I make a podcast, people may listen to it and be like, yo, this looks terrible. This sucks, and that's why I have a different look and different different mics. Like it's okay to be criticized because you're only going to get better if you listen to your criticism.
I agree.
But if you are an extreme nationalist and you're like, you can't say this sucks, nothing's ever going to change. Yeah. And that's my problem with it. Like, I do like a lot of stuff for our country, but I think a lot of our stuff is terrible.
Yeah.
And I just don't think the people that are higher up in power want to make those changes for whatever reasons or whatever underlying thing they may be. And I don't want to sound like conspiracy theory and like, oh, the Illuminati and all that other nonsense. Lizard people.
If you talk to my friend Bob Ellis, they're all lizard people.
Yeah, but it's just like, and that's just people's way of wrapping around their head around that. They just don't. They don't give a fuck about us. You know what I mean? Like it's. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. I have a slightly more rosy opinion on it.
I think you have a lot more hope for politics.
I do. I think I do, and I understand that sometimes that's a huge no to have.
I think it's good for people to do that because I think because if you take time out to listen and study and follow politics, both sides, because I think that's very important too. Because I think if someone who's a left only follows left things, you're going to be very jaded to the right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what sets you apart is you do watch both sides. Yeah. Like, I'll watch Louder and Crowder. I'll watch that fucking gun girl go to cut things and make an idiot out of herself. But I'll also Ben Shapiro, I'll listen to him. Yeah. But I'll also watch and see the other side of the left side of things too, because I think underlining things, you can actually hear from the right what they want to change and what they don't like about the other. And if people open-mindedly listen to the other side a little bit and say, okay, you want this, we want this, let's talk about it.
Right.
Like, I'm actually a fan of James Crowder when he's on the streets.
James Crowder?
Yeah, not James Crowder.
Steven Crowder.
Steven Crowder, sorry. Yeah. Steven Crowder. I'm a fan of his when he's on the street. Because when he's on the street, he's less animated and less of a dickhead.
Yeah.
When he's in a studio, he's a tough guy. He's like
he's got people backing him up.
He's doing skits and there's people.
I'm gonna pour another glass.
Go ahead, yeah. And
would you like another glass?
You can put a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. He has more people that agree with him when he's in studio. He can be a little more animated. He can kind of pick more fun. He can do more of that. Where he's out in the street, he actually is more open-minded to talk to people. He still believes his beliefs.
Yeah.
But he's willing to have an actual conversation and be like, well, this is why I think you're wrong. Mm-hmm. But he does come with a binder full of facts as well. You know what I mean?
See, my issue with Steven Crowder is the fact that he adamantly went after a gay journalist from Vox just because he was Latino and gay. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a pretty.
I wasn't aware of that one,
and that's okay. Yeah. Look, and I think that's the thing where we don't always know exactly what. For example, and I'm going to give one from the other side too. So I'm not gonna just go fuck you guys on the right. Everyone on the left, you're chill. No. Cenk Uygur, who's running for a seat in California right now, as a host of the Young Turks, and some of the stuff he's said about women in the past is heinous as hell.
Really?
It is gross. It is
the left side. Wow.
Yeah, he's on the left. I don't know if at the time, because I think he was a conservative at one point, but I think he had some sort of reawakening or whatever. And it's maybe because sometimes when I see that and I see someone who had these incredibly different views, but they're I'm okay, well, are these because you think that, or is it because it's monetarily going well for you right now?
Yeah.
That's where you
Didn't Trump
are.
openly say in a Rolling Stones magazine that if he were to run for president, he would run Republican because it would be easier to get.
That's a fake quote.
It was?
It is a fake quote. And it's one of the rare times that you'll see me defend this president. He never said that. And I tell my... See, I have people, I have liberal friends who fucking hate the president, which is fine. I'm not a fan of him either. Mm-hmm. I do not like him aggressively. Yeah. However, we got to come with facts.
But if he does something good, you'll talk about it.
Yes,
which is I think is fair.
And I think it's we have to come with facts, right? We cannot come, because if you're coming at it from a place of
pure hate,
just pure. I think, again, hate's bad, but I'm more about ignorance.
Yeah.
If you're coming from a place of ignorance and just start throwing random accusations because you're I saw it on a Facebook post once, it's no. And you complain about the other side doing it, you can't also do it. Mm-hmm. I think that's an issue, and I think that both sides tend to find that where they're I have this is where I get my information from, and I'm not looking for information from anywhere else. So if I get the information from there and it's wrong, oopsie daisies.
Yeah.
Like, I know that, you know, like, there are times where I, like, drop myself into Fox News because I'm like, what's going on over there? Let's see how it's going. And 9 times out of 10, they're not saying anything worth listening to. The Five is like my favorite show.
The Five?
The Five. It is like, it's four people on the right and then one poor sad sap from the left that they just beat up on for an hour. And it's like, how is this a show?
Yeah.
How is this a show? But to get back to the original question, J-Lo and Shakira are dope. I know, right? I know. J-Lo and Shakira are fucking dope. They're icons and they fucking rocked.
I thought it was one of my favorite halftime shows.
It was so cool. Plus, I loved the game.
Yeah.
The game was great.
It was a good game.
I was like...
I don't think I can ever... all right, so if I had to say who my second... It's a weird thing to say as a sports guy, like, who's your second favorite team?
Yeah.
I grew up with a kid who was, like, my best friend, and he was a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
So I always were like, okay, well, I always like the Redskins. I will never like another team. But I can see myself also rooting for this team because we're not in the same division. We're not even like, if we played against each other, cool.
It's the Super Bowl if you're playing against each other for the most part.
Yeah, and then I would say like my third, if I had to pick, like, is like the Browns.
Yeah,
because they're always horrible, and I can relate to that because I'm a Redskins fan. You know, and my uncle, my one uncle is a huge Browns fan, so I was like, man, like. But he was also a cool fan.
Yeah.
And that's how this Kansas City Chiefs fan was. He was just a cool, chill fan. Like, he wouldn't be like, fuck you, Chiefs beat your team. He'd be like, hey, man, it was a great game. I'm glad we both played. Like, and that's what made me enjoy that team. So going into the thing, I was like, man, I'm rooting for the Chiefs. But to watch them the entire playoffs get fucking blown out for 2 quarters and then
just turn it around.
Yeah, I would fucking have a heart attack. I could, like, either lose or fucking win. Like, don't fucking play with my emotions or you're down 15 points.
So I'll say this. I'm a Cowboys fan, however, and I've said this.
I'll hold it against you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Listen, like, I'll talk politics all day, but you just said you're a Cowboys fan on my table.
And you're like, I don't think I'm going to listen to anything else he says.
That's politics for me.
Yeah.
You're a Cowboys or Eagles fan? Like, I mean, just mute your mic.
Let me just turn that mic down. Yeah, you can keep talking, but no one's going to hear you. So I am a Cowboys fan, but I've admitted it on my other podcast, Getting Blitzed, that I do about sports.
Yeah.
That I am a Pat Mahomes stan. I love Pat Mahomes. He is amazing. I think I did pick.
He looks like Stephen Curry's daughter with mustache.
That's fair. When in the beginning of the season we picked like who we thought were going to be in the Super Bowl and who's going to win the MVP. I did have the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I had the Chiefs winning, I believe, and I also had him winning MVP. But I had him winning MVP of the season, not the Super Bowl. But I'm still going to count that as a win for me.
You were pretty close.
It is. So my wife and co-host on Alcoholitics is a Texans fan.
Okay.
So imagine watching that game where they go up 24-0, only to lose 51-31 to the Chiefs. She was furious. And I don't like when she's sad, but sometimes it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like, she was like losing it.
I loved all the posts on Facebook like, oh, fuck the Chiefs, they told you they're not this good. And then I would comment like, that didn't hold up well, did it?
Well, yeah.
We were in a brewery, Tattered Flag Brewery, and I just remember seeing it on the TV, and I was like, holy fuck, the Chiefs are losing. Like, bad.
They were getting demolished.
And then, like, touchdown, fumble, touchdown. Touchdown. I was like, yo, I'm with Heidi, and she doesn't give a fuck about sports. And I'm actually talking to a guy, and we're like having dinner, and then we're gonna go to his house and do an interview. So the whole time he's talking, I'm just like, the fucking Chiefs are kicking their ass. Like the whole time, I'm like, oh my, and he's like, I'm like, yeah, oh yeah. You don't like sports? All right. Like, I was like multitasking in my brain, but it was baffled.
Yeah.
And then the next weekend, we're at another brewery doing an interview, and I'm like, and they're fucking getting killed again, and they're like, oh, Chiefs are losing. I'm like, they're gonna come back.
Just give them time. Every game, we're just like, just wait for it.
Yeah.
It's not over yet.
They're like the Forrest Griffin. Like, remember when Forrest would get beat up for 3 rounds and then somehow squeak out a win?
No.
Yeah, he was crazy. Now, that's a great segue into sports. We'll talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Getting Blitzed. Second podcast you do.
Yes.
Listen, man, I feel you. Like as someone who does multiple podcasts, I respect your hustle.
I'm trying to figure out a way to throw myself into a couple more so I can be more like you.
What other topics are you trying to cover?
No, I'm not. I'm kidding.
Oh,
me and my friend did talk about potentially doing one about like TV, movies, pop culture, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's fun.
But I'm not looking for anything new.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people say to me, they're like, well, how do you do all this?
Yeah.
And I say, I'm really not stretching myself. When maybe editing, but for the most part, when it comes to like research or topics and stuff, it's what I'm already into.
Right.
So I'm not really going out of my comfort zone to do something or talk about something.
Yes. I think that's important when it comes to a podcast. I'm not like, I can't do a podcast on like, for example, I know that
fishing.
You listen to,
like, I
was going to say murder, but fishing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up like, how you like talk about the podcast Murder My Dude.
Yeah.
Which I think like, that's awesome that those dudes can that must be something that they're into. If it were me, I'd have to like do research on murders.
Yep.
And like
they do a lot of research.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that they probably like knew some of the facts going in or are like really excited about. Well, I was going to say or be excited about learning these facts.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, do I have to read about murder today?
Yeah.
I don't want to read about murder today.
I'm more fascinated by like a serial killer or a murderer, just like their mental aspect, what made them get there.
Yeah.
And I think they do a really good job of telling the story of what happened and then also how the person got caught. Because then you're like, oh, man, that detective work was fucking awesome, how they got, you know what I mean? So they do a very fantastic job. They're on a little bit of a hiatus right now, but they are coming back, That's
good.
Well, hopefully come back,
There's a like national podcast called My Favorite Murder from, like Karen Kilgariff and Georgia Hardstark. And that podcast is like bananas.
Yeah.
Because they're just like into murders. And they're like, do you want to talk about, like they met at a party and we're like talking about murder and everybody else is like, okay, we're going to go.
We're going to leave you two crazy people alone.
And that's how they became friends, and that's how they did that podcast. I think that's awesome.
Now, how do you release your episodes? Alcoholitics comes out what day?
Alcoholitics comes out usually on like Sunday or Monday. It depends on when I'm not lazy enough to put the episode up. We try to record it on like maybe a Saturday, and then I try to throw it up on Sunday. But I'll admit that sometimes it goes to Monday because I'm lazy and fall asleep or am hungover and whatever. We have to move the Getting Blitzed episodes. We were recording them on Tuesdays, and then I would usually release it on like a Thursday. We have to move it now because we can't record on Tuesdays anymore because of the election. Most of the primaries, most of the contests happen on Tuesday. So I'm like, I can't do this because I need to watch.
Record on Wednesdays.
What?
You should record on Wednesdays.
We're going to record those on Mondays, actually.
Monday, okay, yeah.
because I'm like, I can't do these because I will be too busy.
What about Monday Night Football?
Well, after the election season, we'll probably change it up. Like after the primaries, we can move it because then there are no more contests on Tuesdays, so I don't have to. It's a me problem. And Andrew, I'm very sorry that I'm doing this to you.
What sports are you guys mostly into that you cover?
Football and basketball. It is 9 times out of 10 we're talking about football or basketball. In fact, I think it's very rare we talk about another sport. Yeah. It's incredibly rare we talk about another sport.
And you guys also drink on that one as well.
I think we started out drinking and then we stopped drinking as much, but then I would also drink, or I do this thing to fall asleep where I take like 7 Benadryl. So sometimes I'll take a bunch of Benadryl and then we'll do that where I'm like falling asleep as we're doing the podcast.
You just fall asleep at the table, he just leaves?
That's actually when we do, he lives in Lancaster.
That's a drive.
Near Lancaster. And I live in Bloom. So we actually both record our own stuff. He sends it to me and we put it up that way.
Oh. So you guys aren't even physically in the room talking to each other?
We are not in the room. We are on a Discord chat. Which is nice. Because, one, it's a nice way to do a podcast with someone that, you can't do one physically in the room with, and 2, he's like one of my best friends from being a kid, and I miss him.
So there's not really debates. It's you saying this is what happened in football. This is what happened.
Oh no,
in
it's debates. He's a Washington fan like yourself.
Oh, I like him already.
We disagree on some stuff, so we will sometimes fight on it.
So what do you think about the Washington's changes and moves they've been making?
I think that getting rid of Josh Norman is a good idea because Josh Norman gets burned deep all the time, and you can't really put your best receiver. He can't put Josh Norman on your best receiver. He is going to if your best receiver is fast, he's going to destroy Josh Norman.
Yeah, Josh Norman. A lot of people will say he got a lot of stock when he was in Seattle, but he also had a very good safety over the top.
Do you mean Carolina.
Well, yeah, Carolina. Yeah. I'm thinking Norman as well. But in Carolina, he had a good safety over the top, so he was able to go man to man. And if he did get something deep, the safety kind of would.
It's the same with Richard Sherman.
Yeah,
where Richard Sherman always had Cam Chancellor or Earl Thomas back there to bail him out if he gets burned.
Well, what Norman is good at though is he will undercut a route very well.
Yeah,
but the problem is without having a stronger safety presence in Washington, he wasn't able to. He gave too much of a cushion, so he was just literally a body there.
Yeah,
but what he's good at is he's good at tackling. He's great at tackling, and he's good at punching balls out.
Yeah.
He forces a lot of fumbles. So he is good in that aspect. I will miss him, but when it comes to, I think, the new direction of our defense, I've never had more faith in our team going into an offseason than I do right now.
Yeah. I also think Ron Rivera is a good hire.
Yeah.
I think Ron Rivera...
And we're the first team to not only get a female, but a black female to be assistant coordinator of, I believe, the offense.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's a cool thing for Washington. But I'm really excited for the season, man. I'm a little nervous with Rivera. A lot of the things that it looks like he's trying to do is trying to recreate Carolina.
Yeah.
With players, and I'm like, it kind of makes me nervous. I wouldn't be surprised if by season time Cam Newton's not in a Washington jersey.
I wouldn't be surprised at that either. Well, okay, no, I would a little bit because you guys have Haskins and they drafted Haskins.
I don't think he wants Haskins to start.
I don't think he necessarily wants Haskins either.
He said Haskins will compete against a veteran for his job.
Yeah, well, Case Keenum.
I don't know.
You don't think Case Keenum's gonna?
I think Case Keenum really wants to come back, but I think Rivera. Statistics prove when Rivera and Cam Newton are playing together and Cam Newton's healthy, Cam Newton's a beast.
I agree. I agree.
And I think I think he has a very deep connection with Cam Newton. It's kind of like when I do a podcast. Like, all right, I really like this guy. If I want to go, that's my Pippin. He's coming with me.
Right.
And I think Rivera is secretly trying to get that to happen.
Is Rivera Michael Jordan in this situation?
I don't know. Neither one of them have that many championships, so I can't. That's a terrible analogy.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
but
it's his comfort zone. He wants that guy to build his offense. He wants that guy to teach Dwayne Haskins. I think that's how he's going to pitch it. Like, let me bring Cam in, let him play for a year or two.
Cam will be the bridge.
Yep, and let him teach this young quarterback how to be a quarterback. And I don't think that's a terrible idea.
Do you think you'd be hoping secretly that Cam does so well that they cannot, they can't have Haskins start over?
You have to realize this, too. Everything Haskins has accomplished as a quarterback has been sheerly phenomenal. He's only played, less than fucking 30 games as a quarterback and played in the Big Ten and threw 50 touchdown passes and then was drafted to the NFL, and he's a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
He hasn't even played over 50 games as a quarterback.
Oh.
So
that's interesting. I didn't actually know that.
He was a bench warmer. I believe he wasn't even he never had starts. He never had reps. So for him to step in Ohio State and do what he did, and then to get brought in the NFL, he still has to learn a lot. He's just purely going off athleticism, which is really impressive because when they let him shine a little bit, he is decent.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's only going to get you so far. If you get a good defensive coordinator and all right, here's his weaknesses, we're going to exploit this, we will be a shitty team.
Yeah.
And you can only rely on the run game so much. And we are stacked.
Don't tell that to the 49ers.
Yeah.
They got to the Super Bowl relying on their run game. They almost exclusively.
Yeah.
I loved in the playoffs where they were just like, "Hey, we can't have Jimmy throw the ball anymore. It's too much of a reliability. If Jimmy Garoppolo throws that ball, just run it to Mostert. We don't know."
Yeah.
Oh, 216 yards? All right, cool.
Yeah, hope he does that every game.
Yep.
So I have higher hopes. I think usually when we come in on paper, we don't have superstars. So people are like, oh, the Redskins are going to suck. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I watch every Redskins game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, there's some moments there. Like when Jay Gruden was there, I was like, his fucking play calling is terrible.
Jay Gruden's a bad coach.
I'd watch the game and I was like, it's run, screenplay, run, screenplay. I'm like, can we at least attempt to throw more than 5 yards downfield? I'm like, that shit worked when Kirk Cousins was here because he was a pussy and wouldn't throw more than 10 yards.
Oh, you hear that, Kirk?
Yeah, fuck you, Kirk. You
Hear
like that?
Kirk?
You fucking like
You
that?
like that?
I was never a Kirk Cousins fan.
Really?
Never. I would have kept RG3. I would have kept one-legged RG3 over Kirk Cousins.
Disagree strongly.
I think RG3 is more of a team player. I think when it comes to like outside and marketing himself, I think he was a little too me. Like, here's my rehabilitation, here's me coming back. But I think when it comes to a locker room aspect and being a team leader, RG3 he's like Steve Young. He will die for a yard. He will dive head first. He will fucking put everything on the line to make sure that drive stays alive.
That sounds like a problem, seeing of his injury history.
Yeah, but I like that attitude.
Yes.
Where Kirk Cousins is like, all right, I know if my stats look really good, I look like a better quarterback.
Gotta protect number one.
But I don't really care if we win the game.
Gotta protect number one.
Don't like that.
He's gotta make that paper.
Yeah. Well, it's working great for him because he went to a team that was one game away from a Super Bowl, and then he took over and didn't even make him the playoffs.
What are you talking about? The Vikings made the playoffs, didn't they?
Not his first year there.
Oh, not his first year there, but they did make the playoffs.
But the year before that, they were a one team. They were one game away from the Super Bowl.
All right. That's true. This is my voice where I'm like trying to undercut it, but I have no facts to back up what I'm trying to fight.
He tanked the Vikings.
They went to the playoffs next year.
And how'd that work out?
They got eliminated. By whom?
Why? Why'd they eliminate it? Did someone throw a pick six?
I'm sure someone didn't do well as the
Because
QB.
someone can't beat teams over 500.
That's true. He did have that problem,
And he can't win Monday night games.
but he did win a game this playoff this postseason, I believe. He did win one and then lose.
He did, yeah.
But I don't remember who it was against.
Listen, he looks better in Minnesota than he is in Washington because Minnesota has a fantastic defense.
Yeah.
And he has more weapons.
Yeah, Diggs and
You put any other quarterback on that team, they're a Super Bowl team. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. Minnesota's talented.
See,
Unfortunately, they have a guy who only cares about himself playing quarterback.
That's how I'm not specifically the personal feelings, but that's what happened.
I poured I didn't know that was that dark of a beer.
Oh no!
So that's probably gonna taste like coffee. I'm probably gonna take a sip of that and not even finish it.
I thought similarly about Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh,
Switching the wine.
I thought that similarly about Jimmy Garoppolo, where I'm like, if they have another quarterback, they're winning that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If they have another quarterback that they can rely on to throw the ball for first down. In fact, at the end of the game, some of the most wonderful plays were drawn up that would have worked if the quarterback could get the ball there.
Yep.
I remember a deep one to Sanders that Sanders burned the coverage, was wide open, touchdown pass, overthrown. And I'm just like, he's not going to win you a championship.
Yeah.
That defense will straight up win you a championship, not Jimmy.
Can you put this into consideration? You go into play as a quarterback, you need to be in a rhythm.
Yeah.
You rely on a run game your entire playoffs and then want him to be a quarterback in a situation where he doesn't have reps.
Well, also, that he doesn't have the skills to be that quarterback. I don't think it matters how often Jimmy Garoppolo throws. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. I think that they are relying on a run game and a defense to make sure that they are competitive or sometimes blowing stuff out. And I'll say that Jimmy's definitely had some good games this year. I'm not going to take that away. But I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be able to get it done.
Yeah.
And they're going to be... I mean, you have a finite amount of years with Richard Sherman playing at this level. You have a finite amount of years of that defense staying together financially. You're not going to be able to afford it.
Like the Seattle Seahawks. They spent a shit ton of money and knew they couldn't keep that defense as long as they had it.
But they got a ring out of it.
Yep.
They got a ring out of it.
I look at San Fran as they paid for a ring.
Yeah.
And that didn't work out.
Yeah, they need to get that ring.
Yeah.
Because they're running low on time.
Yeah, I don't like Shanahan either. I don't like Kyle Shanahan.
I'll say this: I never really.
I'm biased though because Washington.
Gotcha.
Him and his dad can go suck a D.
I never really cared about Kyle Shanahan, but I remember watching the Super Bowl between the Falcons and the Patriots, and to me, and I'm gonna get it back to politics in this, to me, it symbolized for me the 2016 election, where I felt like we were ahead. We have this on lock. All we have to do is not fuck up. And then all of a sudden I'm like, how did we just fucking lose this? How did we just lose this? Oh my God, what happened? I felt the same, like a similar pit in my stomach. Not the same. It wasn't on the same scale. But I felt like a similar when we were watching. I'm like, fuck this. I hate this so much.
Yeah, it was rough. Now I don't follow basketball too much, but who's your team in basketball?
Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic, baby.
So are you a big Dallas in general?
I was born in Texas.
Okay.
So I like latched on to Dallas teams as I grew up. When I was a kid, I kind of like made the decision that I was going with Dallas teams, except for in baseball, I liked the Houston Astros. In baseball, I took like a National League and the American League team. So I had the Yankees for the American League and the Astros for the National League.
Yeah.
And then the Astros moved, and I'm like, well, I'm going to like them both anyway, and you guys go fuck yourselves.
What do you think about the Astros right now?
I mean, I think it is hilarious. I think that they essentially cheat. So they definitely cheated.
100% cheated.
100% did it. But they essentially paid like X millions of dollars and a coach and a GM to get a ring. And I think they're like, that works. We're fine with that. We're okay with this. No problem.
Do you think it's true about the shock things and the signaling? And
I think that all of it's true. I think that
don't tear my shirt off.
I think 100%
wires falling.
He's like wearing more wires than a fucking informant in the FBI. I think wholeheartedly, and I thought this was funny. This joke that I was just like, Doug from Nickelodeon helped a team win a World Series with that hit song "Banging on a Trash Can." I was losing my mind. I'm like, this is crazy. This team did like a whole scale. We used our film room to just spy on. They were like Big Brother. It was bananas. Fucking not good, but also hilarious.
Yeah, it blows my mind is how that doesn't happen more often on sports. Because if you literally have Jerry Jones in the box watching the national broadcast, and they're like, they talk about stuff on TV, like the XFL right now. I think it's fun. I'm having a good time with it. Yeah. But that's going to eventually bite them in the ass where they're putting the full play calls on TV and like someone's going to be like, they just called this play.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Exactly. See, here's the thing. Here's what I think. Here's what I think as a non-biased person who likes sports. Yes, they should have lost that ring. They 100%. The punishment that they got was not extreme enough. They should have lost that ring. It should have been vacated. I don't think the Dodgers should get it the way Cody Bellinger thinks, and the fucking Los Angeles City Council also thinks.
Well, I don't want to. I want the other ring to still stand, even though they got there, because I'm a Nationals fan, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Like, you cheated, bitches. We're still better.
Without
Bryce Harper, go fuck yourself.
I'm fine with that. I loved that, by the way. I loved when they won because I'm just like, because I hate Philly teams.
I'm not a Philly fan.
Just like, wow, Bryce Harper, you look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you hitched the wrong horse.
You are a moron. But
he did say he wants to help bring back to
DC. You did it by leaving
in a Phillies jersey. He said
mission accomplished. I remember that interview. He was on the field and was like, huh? But
fuck, I'm in Philly.
But I definitely think that they should have had that vacated. Now, as a biased fan who finds this whole thing comical, fuck you guys. We got the ring. You can't stop us. We got it. Cry those tears, Yankees fans. We don't give a shit.
Now, yeah, I'm very similar. Most of my teams I follow are all from the DC, Virginia area. So I like the Capitals, the Nationals.
Okay.
But I don't really follow baseball and hockey when it's playoff time because they're terrible at marketing games and I never know what my team's on.
Yeah.
Like football.
If you don't have if you're a hockey fan and you don't have like NBC Sports, then you're not going to be able to see anything.
Yeah. And then but hockey is so much fun. And in soccer, I'm a DC United fan. I
remember.
MLS.
See, I liked DC United when I was a kid just because of Freddie Adu.
Yeah.
Remember Freddie Adu was like 15 and they're like, give this fucking kid a contract. I'm like, oh my God, I want to be Freddie Adu. Also, I never played soccer in my life.
Yeah. I actually went to a game last year to see Wayne Rooney play, which was unbelievable.
That's
such a cool experience.
That's dope.
And then now the DC Defenders are in that stadium. I want to be a part of it.
My one coworker went to the first XFL game in DC to see the DC Defenders.
It had been insane.
She said it was really, really awesome.
Dude, the DC United fans are fucking crazy.
Yeah?
I can't imagine if they carry over to the DC Defenders. and how they're building the entire team to be based off using the soccer franchise. Like their logo looks like their logo is inspired from a soccer team. Like the DC United, the jerseys are very simple soccer jerseys looking. Like they're because they're playing in the soccer stadium, they're trying to play off that.
Yeah,
they put a post up that's saying, "All right, DC Defender fans, you fan base needs to have your own name. What do you want to call yourselves?"
Oh God!
And now, I was in a good running for a while. Like I thought my name was going to get picked.
What was your name?
So everyone else put the Shield. Because they're wrestling fans and they thought it'd be funny because of Shield, the whole nine. Yeah. Their logo is a shield. It says DC, and everyone has these foam shields.
Yeah.
And I was like, the Roman Empire used their defensive position, because you're a defensive team, was called the Bronze Wall.
Okay.
The Red Wall.
The Red Wall's
and then
cool.
Everyone in the thing, when you say shields up, everyone puts their shields up, and you form the red wall around the stadium.
That's pretty cool.
A lot of people liked it. I don't think it's going to win, though.
No.
Yeah.
But that's incredibly cool.
Yeah.
I like that name.
Yeah. A little bit of history as long with it. But I just think it'd be cool if everyone holds their shields up and it's a fucking giant wall around the whole one side of the stadium.
I think that'd be really
defense
cool
is kicking ass. They just smashed fucking New York, which I already made it clear that I think, besides the team in Dallas, New York, I think the New York team is going to be my least. The Guardians, I think I hate those guys.
Okay. I like that we're already picking who we hate in the XFL that started like a week ago. All right, I got who I fucking hate.
Fuck the Guardians.
Fuck the Guardians.
That's only because Philly doesn't have a team, so I'm just picking on New York and Dallas.
Are they? I can't remember. Are they Desperados in this? Or
yeah, they tried to stack the deck early.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got a coach, and the coach, like, they went through a whole draft, and then the coach is like, "Well, I have a ringer quarterback," and then they let him have the guy, and then they got beat at their first fucking game anyway. Yeah, so fuck them.
Why? Whoa, I love them. I'll die for them.
I'd like how we talked politics for 45 minutes and not one argument. We get to sports like, fuck your city.
I'll end you. I'll end you. Don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah, so you don't guys have like mixed martial arts or anything like that? Like
I don't. I can't do it because I find it it's too much. I don't like when I'm like watching like SportsCenter on Snapchat and like their number one highlight is someone punching someone in the face, them hitting the ground, and then while they're on the ground, definitely unconscious, the guy comes up and levels another punch to the face before the ref can stop it. That to me, hits me in the stomach where I'm like, no, that guy's dead. I'm like, I just watched a murder. I'm not okay with this.
They are getting better. Like, there's a lot of guys now when they hit a guy, and the reason that happens so much is referees.
Yeah.
They don't step in when they're supposed to, and they try to give the fighters a chance. But there's a lot of fighters now that will hit a guy, and they'll see him go out, and they'll look at the ref and be like,
Grab him.
Stop it, or I'm going to go hit him again.
Right.
And I don't want to. Like, they're trying to show sportsmanship.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my favorite sports is mixed martial arts. It's human chess.
Yeah.
Because people are like, why did they just punch him in the face? Oh, they didn't think of that.
Because oh shit! You revolutionized the game, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't think of punching someone directly in their face before.
Yeah, and it's one of the only sports that it rapidly changed in such a short time.
Yeah.
Like if you watch mixed martial arts 10 years ago, it is not the same sport you're watching today. It's changed so quick.
Yeah.
And it continues to change. Like NFL, I think right now is starting to hit a change. Where for a long time, scrambling quarterbacks were a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
And either you were terrible or you were good. And now it's to the point where it's like almost the norm.
You
for
need
that
an
position.
athletic quarterback. You're not going to see a lot of Tom Brady's succeed anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I'm
and that's because defensive ends now are running 40s faster than running backs.
Yep.
And they're 170 or not 170, like 210 pounds.
Yeah.
That can run 4.4s, and then you're like, I'll put a lineman up there who's 345 pounds.
Like,
and
he will just go right around him or spin through.
It's going to get to the point where the offensive linemen are going to be around 210 pounds, and just that it's just going to be a speed game soon.
Yeah.
Because like those, if you're big, you better be athletic.
Yeah.
Because the defenses are getting so much faster, and they're getting the quarterbacks quick, and quarterbacks need to be able to make a decision and get out of that pocket.
I agree.
So the NFL is making a turning point, but that's the only change I've seen recently in sports. But like MMA is like insane how quick it's been going. Like it used to just be two drunk guys in a fucking cage in jeans throwing fucking punches at each other, and then like the first guy who could throw a kick or a takedown would dominate the league for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's like your Chuck Liddells and your Rampage Jacksons would never hold up with these guys now because they were one-dimensional fighters. Like these guys now know everything. Like you have to be good at everything.
Right.
You can't be a one-trick pony anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, obviously it takes a lot of skill, and I respect that. I cannot do it.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm like, I can't sit and watch a man get like just his head cracked open like an egg.
Yeah, yeah. The last one it was kind of insane. It happened so with the Conor McGregor and Cowboy Cerrone, where he got him in the clinch and he just threw a shoulder strike and broke his orbital, and then the second one popped his nose.
See, that's bananas
from a shoulder strike.
Yeah,
who even thinks to throw that?
No, yeah. I don't like the idea that your head can just kind of do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and realistically, weird enough, it's safer than boxing, because boxing they let you literally get knocked the fuck out and get back up as long as you can get your barrels cleared in 10 seconds. Where in UFC, like you're done, it's over.
Yeah.
Like we just had 2 deaths in boxing last year. Last year.
Okay.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah, I think that's bananas. Yeah. I definitely think that's bananas.
Yeah, because people take insane punishment, and if it's bad. I'm not a huge boxing guy. I watch it, but I'm not a huge. I like bare knuckle boxing.
Okay.
Because either you're breaking your hand, or if you get a bad cut, they stop it.
Yeah.
And almost a bad cut happens every time because you're bare knuckle boxing.
Right.
It's insane. It's gross. It's super gross.
Yeah. It doesn't sound
It's so barbaric. It's like fucking Roman Empire shit.
See, that's my thing. I'm not trying to watch Gladiators today.
Yeah, I'm weird. I think secretly I wish I could have done that. Like if I could return.
Oh, no. That's not good. You don't want to do that.
I would have. If I wouldn't have had my joint disorder and I could have trained and not dislocated stuff, I would have tried mixed martial arts.
I legit thought you were about to say, if I didn't have this, I would have been a gladiator.
I would.
I'm like, I don't know if you could do that, man.
No, I would have actually trained and stuff. I wouldn't look like this, obviously. But I don't know. I like it. I just like that's fun.
Yeah, and to each their own. I enjoy tennis.
Yeah,
I really like watching tennis. I love the chess match that is tennis.
Yeah,
of trying to move people on the line, trying to find a way to get them to expect you to do something so you can do something else. And I love.
Well, that's mixed martial arts too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all sports.
Mine lets people get punched in the head.
Yeah, that's all. You don't know where you stand in the world until you get punched in the head. Like you could be out somewhere and you see this guy and he's huge and he goes to the gym every day and he throws a punch, and then you're just like, wow, you punch really like you punch like a bitch.
Yeah.
Like
you got those vanity muscles.
Yeah, I'm glad you do curls all day, bro. Yeah. Like
he's like,
because you can work out all day long, you can't work out your jaw. Like if you can still be 300 pounds solid shredded muscle, but you still can have a glass jaw, and you don't know that.
I like that. You can work out all day, but you can't work out your jaw.
Yeah, like, and that's a real thing. Like, how many times you see like videos where there's like a dude walks in the cage and he's shredded from head to toe, and this guy walks in and he looks like Play-Doh, but he knows how to box, and he just walks up and he's like, bink, and the dude just goes right to bed, and you're like,
drops him.
Yeah, or like, oh, cool, you worked out and you put all those muscles on. Cool, your cardio is cut in half because it takes more blood to get to those muscles, and your cardio is going to drop tremendously. Yep. So I just need to get through the first 3 rounds with you, and then you're going to be nothing but a punching bag for the next 2. Yeah, it's just a cool. I don't know. I'd love it.
Yeah,
it's a cool sport.
It's definitely like it's chess, but human chess.
Yeah.
And you get to like almost murder your opponent.
Yeah, you get to kill him. You get to legally kill a guy.
I don't want that.
I'm so barbaric.
Again, I love tennis.
You know what's funny too? I'll watch a guy get kicked in the fucking head, but then I'm the first one to defend the NFL. Like, why do he have to go helmet to helmet?
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like,
well, I mean, it's not because those are two different things. One, you're supposed to kick somebody in the head.
Yeah.
And the other, like, this has been clearly shown that it is a problem. I mean, obviously it's a fucking problem to kick somebody in the head. But you, like, said, I'd like to get kicked in the head. Yes, please. Let me sign
But if
this.
a guy gets kicked in the head, he legally can't, like, they do a medical test on you, and you legally can't compete for a certain time because they know how long it takes for the brain to recover.
That's good.
Where a guy gets fucking smacked in football, and they're like, get the fuck back out there. We need you.
Get in there.
And then he's just like...
Did you pass? We just recently instituted concussion protocol because we before were like, we don't care about your head.
Well, I mean, I don't want to show trade at a certain team that uses a star on their helmet, but I remember watching a video of Dak Prescott getting smacked in the head and go to the sideline, openly on camera do smelling salts. And they're like, get back out there.
You're good. I agree. And I look, I'm, again, just like I'm a member of the Democratic Party and I'm very interested in, and I'm okay with, criticizing the Democratic Party. I have no problem criticizing the Dallas Cowboys. First of all, Jerry Jones is our owner, so I already don't like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm Dan Snyder.
I have a lot of things I don't like about the team.
We have owners that have way too much money and they're just like, we could buy everything and it hasn't worked for us yet.
We're like, guys, fucking, what are you talking about? We haven't been, like, great since the 90s.
What do you think of McCarthy as your new coach?
I think it's a good hire. I think that he has success. I think that it's definitely. I think it could be helpful for Dak. So I'm open to it.
You do?
There were people I do. I think there were people that I wanted more. For example, Eric Bieniemy. Really wanted him, the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. I wanted him so badly. I also would have been okay with Lincoln Riley. We had those were the ones that I was really do it, but we pulled the trigger on McCarthy, and I'm game. I'm open to see how it goes.
Can I give you my other side of this coin on that?
Sure.
All right. So McCarthy. So I look at Tomlin. Tomlin walked into the Steelers and he was handed a super team.
Yeah.
He walked into a good team. He has kept that team relevant for over 10 years. McCarthy walked into a good Green Bay team, probably the best quarterback in the league, and significantly went down as a team with under his ownership.
They got a ring.
They got a ring because he came in a year. Like he only had his team was already established, and he got a ring out of it.
There you go.
But after that ring, that team has significantly dropped.
Yeah.
And he had the best quarterback in the
agree.
league. So you coming in as as a guy you're going to hopefully build. And listen, this may get controversial because I'm a Redskins. I like Dak Prescott. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just don't think Mike McCarthy's the guy to help him get better.
I think that's fair. I think
he couldn't work with Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think a lot of people can work with Aaron Rodgers.
He doesn't even like his own parents.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers might be like a difficult workplace environment kind of guy.
Did you see the thing where the guy superimposed his faces on thing and they did the thing from Superbad? Because remember how they said that Mike McCarthy slept over at Jerry Jones' house? And they did the thing from Superbad where they're both laying in the thing and he's like, boop. I
did not see that. I'm going to have to find that.
It's so fucking funny.
I'm going to have to find that.
Yeah. So that's the only thing. I don't know if Mike McCarthy is the guy that you want to... He hasn't proven that he can build a team yet.
I think that's fair.
So let's see how... and I think the Cowboys have right pieces.
I agree. The fact that we didn't make the playoffs was just astonishing.
And I'm not sold on Zeke.
What?
I think Zeke's a problem off field.
I agree with that.
He's literally 2 off seasons away from being Antonio Brown.
I think that's fair, but I'm not gonna. But on the field, I agree wholeheartedly that he definitely has off the field character issues.
He's a head
that
case.
Can be a problem. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that they put him in some sort of cryogenic chamber through the off season,
and then cars,
and then throw him. Then they can throw him back in on the. But I definitely off season fucking. I don't know, kidnap him and tie him to a radiator and just make him chill for fucking months.
Yeah.
And then send his ass back out. But yeah, I think that Dallas has a lot of really good pieces, and the fact that we didn't make the playoffs was I was surprised that we didn't fire Jason Garrett a lot sooner because I was screaming for Jason Garrett's head
I think Jason Garrett will be good as an offensive coordinator, though.
Have fun being the offensive coordinator for the Giants, you asshole.
All right, best running back in the NFC East.
No,
Zeke. You think Zeke?
I think Barkley will be the best. I think Zeke is the best right now.
Yeah, I think Barkley's a beast.
I agree.
Oh,
I agree.
If the New York Giants, if you put Zeke if you swap Zeke and Barkley and gave Zeke the same line as you give Barkley, Zeke would be the next Walter Payton. Not Zeke.
Barkley.
Barkley would be the next Walter Payton.
I definitely think that the Dallas line has a lot to do with the success of Zeke, but I also think Zeke is a straight up monster.
Like Zeke, you can stuff the box and kind of contain him a little bit. Like teams have done it. Barkley, he fucking just. You can stuff the box and he's still going to break 60 yards. And even if he's not, he's handing it off to him, you'll throw it to him out of the backfield.
See, I think that's something that
he's scary.
I think that's something that Dallas doesn't do enough of, which is throwing from the backfield to Zeke.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the limitations for not Zeke's fault. It's the play calling.
Yeah,
which I thought was uninspired and shitty.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we get some sort of change there.
And then the Redskins have Chris Thompson, who's a beast.
He's the man as a receiving back.
He has to stay healthy. You have Adrian Peterson, who somehow just doesn't.
Is he not going to retire?
I don't know. And then you have guys who can be a monster. He just can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
And then we have Bryce Love now coming out healthy this year, who was a Heisman candidate who blew his ACL out. So it's
Stanford, right?
Yeah,
Stanford.
Yeah, so it's a gamble. We have 4 running backs there that can do some cool shit. Let's see how it plays off. And we just got rid of Norman and Paul Richardson. So not Richardson. Yeah, Paul Richardson. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm excited. But anything else you want to cover, talk about, plug, get out there?
I mean, do you have? There was the one thing that you did on this that I was like interested in. I'm like, oh, because you had those cards.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to do the cards.
Want to do some cards?
I 100% wanted to do the cards.
Let's do some cards.
Just one. I'm okay with one. I know us, so I'm sure the podcast has been going on for 3.5 hours.
We're only at 125.
All right, so let's do a couple of cards.
Yeah, let's do a couple of cards. So this is called Ask the Internet.
Yes.
I'm happy you're tuning in. That's cool.
Yeah. I was stoked for this.
So actually, the other cards you've probably seen then was the Pod Decks cards.
Yes, that's the one. Yes. All
right. So Pod Deck cards are a little. we can do both. I just don't.
No, don't. It's fine.
So Pod Decks is another thing. I'll give them a plug. It's a deck of cards, and it's built for podcasting.
Yeah.
And there's interview cards, and then there's episode cards. So if you're doing an episode with somebody, you're like, hey, you want to mix it up today? And you draw a card, and whatever the card gives you, you do an episode on. And then these are more of, it's called Ask the Internet by Barstool Sports. These get a little more graphic.
Okay.
These are more X-rated.
Okay.
This one's not for the kids.
My mother is not going to listen to this podcast. So we're all good.
All right, so this is not that bad. So this is a poll of the internet question. So some of these a lot of these are sports related.
Okay.
Or guy focused.
Oh, yikes.
Yes. It's super misogynistic, but
yeah,
that's what we're here for.
Well, I mean, look, we got the cards.
Yeah. Would you rather not be allowed to eat or not be allowed to drink while watching sports? So you're watching sports, you have to pick one or the other. You can't eat like wing. If you're a guy who like I get some wings and a burger and I watch food, or you're someone who like I have a glass of wine or a beer while I watch. You have to pick one or the other.
I'd probably, I'll probably say that I would not eat.
Yeah, same here.
I would choose to drink. I'm a fan of drinking, so I 100% would do that.
All right, this is a debate question.
Hello. Okay, let's do this.
All right. Who would win in a battle royal? 30 midgets versus one full-grown lion.
The lion.
30 people though.
I understand
now,
that. Now
these 30 people are out, like they know they're there to die. They're not pussyfooting around. They're going full bore.
Okay, are we talking legitimate? It's just 30 small people. I will not say that word. That's not a nice word. But it's on the card.
It's on the card.
You read it. It's not. But it's 30 small people versus a lion.
A full-grown
lion. And it doesn't say anything about the 30 people having any sort of weaponry.
No, but they are there for war.
They're there to get murdered, which they
are
will.
There to defeat a lion with their bare fucking hands.
They're not going to be able to do it.
30 of them.
Nope.
30 people.
I'm going with the lion.
He can only attack one at a time.
I don't think that's true.
They can just jump on it and start ripping its fucking eyes out.
I get that I understand that they have the ability. I'm looking at it from a human nature standpoint. I 100% would be apprehensive before going into battle with a lion, and it's definitely going to fuck with my mind.
They're not apprehensive.
We don't know what that card. You don't know.
It's a battle royal situation.
Yeah.
You are not stepping in there if you don't think you're going to win.
I don't think that they would. I'm assuming they're forced to step in there. I don't think that they're stepping in there on the sheer fact that they want to murder a lion.
That's what we're going off of.
I think I'm going with the lion. You will not change my mind. The lion will murder all 30 of those poor people.
Ooh, here's another debate question.
Yes.
This is dark. How much money would it take for you to strangle a puppy?
I would never strangle a puppy.
How much money?
Here's the thing: I wouldn't strangle a puppy. This would be an easier question if it said how much would it take for you to strangle a human being? I like puppies more than I like human beings.
Yeah,
I will strangle a human being for the right price. I'm not going to do it I'm not going to do a puppy. I wouldn't be able to. The amount of therapy that I'm going to buy from the money that I get isn't going to make up for the fact that I killed that puppy. So no.
Did you ever watch that documentary, Don't Fuck with Cats?
I didn't, because I am afraid of like the graphic scenes that's going to depict.
No, they censor most of it.
Oh. But bad things happen to cats.
Yeah,
though,
horrible
right?
things.
See, I have 4 cats. I have 4 adorable cats.
You want the premise?
Don't they track down people that do bad things to cats?
It's only one guy.
Okay.
So this guy puts a video out on the internet. I actually seen the second video, and I didn't know that this was a thing. Like, there's a whole... it's like one of those things where you watch a video on the internet, and you're like, oh, I watched a 30-second clip, and then like you just walk away. I'm the type of person where I watch like a 30-second clip or a podcast or something. I'm like, I wonder what they do in their normal life. I'm weird like that.
Yeah.
It's like the Rick and Morty episode where like the guy walks away and he's like, oh man, I'm eating dinner, and like, what is this? Like, oh, in this dimension they watch the person after they're done recording.
That's
like,
right. He was selling fake doors.
Yeah, fake doors. Yeah.
After a while of sitting at home doing nothing, he then again continued
to sell doors.
Holy fuck, we're still in the commercial.
So I watched the video. I'll get to that. I'll get to what I seen when we get to that part. So this guy puts a video out of he has 2 kittens, and he's playing with them, and he has his face hidden, and he puts the kittens in a vacuum sealed bag.
Motherfucker.
And then vacuum seals the bag, and they die. He pretty much like asphyxiates. Yes, thank you.
I gotcha.
Beers happen. And then these people are like, what the fuck? So this guy and this lady kind of like started doing detective work and trying to find this dude. And then he's taunting them, and like it's a cat and mouse game.
I love that this is like a BTK situation.
It really is. Then he makes a second video where he has I don't know if the second one video. No, I've seen the third one. The second video, he has a cat taped to a broomstick.
People are going to stop listening to this episode.
And he puts the cat in a tub.
Yeah.
And just drowns it.
People are 100% not going to listen to this. They're going to hit this point and they're like, are they talking about cat murder?
But here's the thing. Like, these people fucking dedicated their lives
Yeah.
to making sure this guy gets caught. Like,
That's great.
Spoiler alert, they get him, but the whole time you're watching it, if you can get past the diabolical things this guy has done, you are rooting for these people to find him.
Of course.
So it's a very good documentary watch.
Okay.
The third one I seen was he's playing with a cat. He moves a pillow off the bed, and there's a giant boa constrictor on the bed.
Jesus fucking... All right.
And the boa constrictor obviously does what a boa constrictor is going to do. Then he moves for like now they've tracked this dude down at one point. They know where he lives. They know everything about him. They're telling police.
Okay, good. I was
you
like,
need to get this guy, and they're like, because it wasn't their detective work and they didn't do it. They just kind of brushed them off. And he was like telling them like, if they don't catch me, I'm going to move to people. And he legit killed a guy on video and put it on the internet. And then they fucking took it seriously and caught him. Mm-hmm. But, like, this could have been avoided if they would have done it the first time.
Right.
Yeah, so, like, he went from 3 cats to a human. It's crazy. All right.
Hope you guys are having a good time.
Hey, everyone. No. So, could Gronkowski throw someone Adam Scheffler's size over a field goal post?
Adam Scheffler. Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah, 71% of people at Barstool said it can happen.
I would say yeah. He's a strong dude.
Are you watching The Masked Singer?
I'm not, but I see clips.
I think the one guy is Gronkowski. Oh, all right. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to.
Okay.
What is the weirdest thing you've ever jerked off to? That's what the card says. I didn't make that up.
Oh, man. All right. This is a Howard Stern situation.
Hi, Mom.
Hey.
I'm gonna drink some wine here.
I don't think I have an answer. I know, I like stuff. I don't know what. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I don't know how to answer this question. In a way that's not horrible.
I watch a lot of stuff, but I'm not into it like sexually. I'm just curious at this point.
Can I say, and instead of answering this question, I am 100% going to completely sidestep it and talk about something else that's weird.
Sure.
I'm doing it. I'm going to talk about something that I do sometimes that's weird in an effort to give another peek behind the curtain.
Sure.
And not that peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, we're not talking about
There are times where I've watched pornography and I have gone, instead of like, I'm not like pleasuring myself, but instead going, well, that logically doesn't make sense.
I do the same thing.
And I'll skip through going, I don't think that's plausible. like, wait, so he's your boss, but like he's a real dick, and that's what makes you hot for him? I don't know.
Or
and I'll be like, no, that premise isn't good enough.
This gentleman has a 15-inch member that is as thick as my computer, and this tiny little woman that's not going to fit in there.
I'm like, no. I'm just like, no, I wouldn't do it. You can. That's what?
And
no.
Just like she's in pain the whole time.
She's like, I'm not enjoying this. I'm doing it because I'm getting paid for this. And I'm like,
this is kind of a mean question.
Yes.
Who is the ugliest celebrity you would date?
I would date any celebrity.
Yeah, I would too.
I
don't want to call somebody ugly.
I also, like, what kind of rude piece of shit would I be?
Yeah, like, look at me, like I'm a real gem.
I'm like, oh, you know who's gross? I'd bang that gross lady. Like, that's rude.
Yeah.
Me. I'm the worst. I'm the ugliest celebrity.
It would be more of a chore for them than it would be for me.
I'm 100% certain that anyone who, if they had to date me, would be like, I'm out of here. This is like a fucking nightmare.
Would you rather get stuck at a red light every time for the rest of your life or become a loaf of bread for 24 hours once a year?
I'd become a loaf of bread for 24 hours. I just hope that I'm a well-hidden loaf of bread. I'm assuming if they cut me open, I'm going to feel that. But I live in a town with too many red lights to want to be able to. That's like living in Center Street in Pottsville and being like, I'll do the red light thing. No, you won't. You're going to get stopped at every single red light. And fuck that. I
would do the red light thing only because when I'm in the car, I'm listening to stuff, and I try to stretch it out as long as possible.
Yeah, but then you have to, like, you legit would have to leave, like, a while earlier. You would have to leave, like, days in advance of a trip. Imagine that you're taking a trip to, like, Florida.
If you got a one-time pass to do whatever you wanted, what crime would you commit?
I got a one-time pass to do whatever I want. Embezzlement, probably.
Yeah, 100% money.
I would do some sort of. I get one, so maybe I'd have to do like an amazing bank heist. Because they can't stop me.
Yeah, you get a one-time pass.
I'm not. I don't
wouldn't
get
hurt
in trouble
anybody.
No, I wouldn't hurt anybody. Like, but like, I mean, like, I'm gonna wave a gun in the bank, so like, move out of my way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hurt you, but I'm also robbing this bank.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want you getting in the way of it and me shooting you in the leg, and that's now my crime, and I can't get away with like fucking up the bank.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. That's cheating.
Would you rather get hit? Would you rather hit a home run as a pitcher, score a goal as a hockey goalie, or score a touchdown as a lineman?
I'd rather hit a home run as a pitcher. I would 100% like to hit a home run as a pitcher. Because I really want to hit a home run. I really want to hit a home run.
Yeah, I think the home run's the coolest one. I've seen hockey guys get open net ones all the time.
Yeah.
If you could be part of if you could be part of a crew from any TV show or movie, what crew would it be? I guess like if you were behind the scenes and get to see like a movie being made.
Oh,
or
I'd
a
have
TV
to be.
show.
See, I had it in a different way. I thought it was like a crew, as in like a group of friends.
We
like
can do that way too.
Well, yeah, I would say I would be, if I were doing crew in my way, I would be on either the West Wing, probably the West Wing. Because it's, it's up my alley. It is a show that I absolutely love. And I would have loved to be a part of the Bartlett administration in whatever way they'd like me to.
My crew, if I was part of a team or friends of crew, I would have liked to work at Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah?
Or I would have wanted to be a part of the Midnight Society in Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Okay.
I think that'd have been fun.
Yeah.
Now, if I could be part of a crew, like the production and watching something be made, once again, I'm also going to go with The Office.
Yeah.
Like, to be a guy who's, like, filming and doing that. Or I would have loved to be a part of the movie Goodfellas.
Okay.
Just to kind of watch all those fantastic actors do their thing.
If we were talking that specific style of crew, I would probably pick The Good Place. It's a sitcom. It was a sitcom on NBC, ended recently, about... the general premise in the first season was this person died, and they're now in the good place, but they're not supposed to be in the good place, and they're trying desperately to not get found out that they're not supposed to be there. And then it just, as the seasons go on, it is absolutely amazing. I suggest, if you haven't seen it, it is a lovely show. It is lovely, and it's a lot of jokes about philosophy and farting.
Okay.
So it teeters on those lines.
Ooh. All right, this is a dude question as well as this is just a pure dude question.
Okay, I hope it's not asking about my masturbatory habits.
No, would it make it in trouble with your girlfriend? Would you rather... Not really, maybe. Would you rather fuck your dream girl from high school or go back in time and change one of your worst childhood sports losses to a win? I didn't care that much about my high school sports, so I'd go back and bang a girl from high school.
I would probably change my high school. Here's the thing. I think if I would have been more like...
We lost every game we played, so it's not going to change.
I remember playing junior varsity basketball, and our team just got our ass kicked all the time. I feel like if maybe we would have won one of those and it was because of me, I would have stuck with basketball, and I wouldn't be such a fat piece of shit. so in that
what
vein...
a butterfly effect, right?
In that vein, I would say that.
Yeah. Would you rather have... It's a lot of sex questions.
Jeez Louise.
Would you rather have...
Barstool Sports, what are you so interested in my sex life for?
Would you rather have sex with a dead person for 5 minutes?
No.
If you get your laundry done and folded magically for the rest of your life.
Wait, what? Wait.
You're contemplating.
So their premise is
yes,
you have to commit necrophilia
for 5 minutes.
For 5 minutes, but you never have to do your laundry again?
It gets done and folded for you magically the rest of your life.
Fun fact, I don't fold my fucking laundry, so nice try, Barstool. I'm not having sex with a dead person. Nice try. Now, they were... If this was a problem for me, I'd consider, but it's not, so don't you dare. This is fucked.
You asked for it.
I did, but this is like bananas.
Would you rather live in the middle of nowhere in Iowa,
No.
in the swamps of Louisiana, or Alaska?
I will say, and I will, if anyone who listens to this listens to Alcoholitics, they know my current disdain for Iowa, because they're like, we want to go first in the political process. Also, we're really bad at running this caucus, and it fucked up everything, and it was really confusing, and I hate them. So, based on that, I'm gonna go to Louisiana.
I would go Alaska. Everyone I ever know that went there said it was fucking awesome.
GSD fucking loves Alaska.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. I also think it's cold there. Mm-hmm. So I'll risk getting mauled to death by a gator.
I don't like reptiles at all.
No, I do not.
Where it's warm, the bugs and the reptiles are way bigger.
Yep.
I'll just wear an extra jacket.
I understand. And I think that's a respectable choice.
Or I just won't leave the house.
I live inside of a mosquito net now.
Yeah, I will just stay in the house and I will have the heat up.
Yeah.
And just call it a day.
Yeah. No, I mean, I respect that choice. I'm picking Louisiana, mostly because it seems like a real cool, fun place.
Yeah. A lot of cool supernatural stuff there, like voodoo houses and stuff I'd like to try out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in that weird stuff. Not that I believe in it. I'm just curious, I guess.
Yeah.
Would you put your kid in a gorilla pit for $50,000?
I don't have a kid, but yeah, for sure.
No, I wouldn't. That'd be fucking terrifying.
Why?
Because gorillas would fuck that kid up.
No, it might be one of those gorillas that like see the kid as their own and love the kid.
No, probably not.
It's for $50,000. I don't have a kid, so I have no stakes in this. This might as well be asking, would you put someone else's kid in a gorilla pit for $50,000? To which my answer is yes.
Hold on, I'm just going to read this real quick. Well, this is a fucked up question. Would you rather be a pig and be able to orgasm for 30 minutes or be a lion and be able to have sex 60 times a day?
Neither of those sound good.
I would take the lion because I don't have to have sex 60 times a day.
You can. Okay.
I just can.
Okay.
I don't know if I want a 30-minute orgasm.
I know I don't.
I got shit to do.
Yeah. I know I don't want that. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, no, sorry, guys. I blocked off 30 minutes because I have to have an orgasm because I'm a pig? Question mark? No. Give me the lion.
Would you take $4 million to be caught on Catch a Predator?
Did I do it?
And just to be caught on it. I don't know.
See, my problem is the wording, to be caught. That sounds like I did it.
Yeah.
And if I didn't do it, then I'd love to be caught. If I did it, then no, I'm good.
Just being on TV like, I'm just here to deliver
I
pizza.
legit wanted it to be a situation where I legit was going to hang out with an 11-year-old boy to just play Xbox. I wanted to be that specific. I wanted to
Are you
be
here
like,
to fuck him? Like,
no,
no, you weirdo.
I have a bag literally with Xbox controllers. We were going to play Duty all fucking night. If that's the way I'm caught, for sure.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. They're like, for the first time in To Catch a Predator history, the person was not coming to have sex with a child. They legit were just a lonely adult who needed someone to play fucking gunfight with them.
Oh, this is... All right, Barstool Sports, you're all about fucking semen.
We might need to move to the other deck.
Yeah. Would you rather live in a world with only girls, or would you... with only girls, or a world where only guys, but you're not allowed to jerk off?
I don't want to live in a world with only anything.
Yeah.
I get Barstool. What the fuck? Only women, I guess, because women get shit done.
If you only be, all right, this is not terrible. But if you could be in an endless supply of anything, what would it be?
Endless supply?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good. Endless supply. I wish my. Holy shit, that's a really good wine. I go wine or vodka.
Vodka.
I'm a fan of vodka. I do the episodes that we do. There are a lot of them. I'm drinking like vodka in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It seems like it's always wine because a lot of the time it is wine, but a lot of the time it's like wine, and then I pour myself a mixed drink, and I'm getting just blasted off. Of vodka and Sprite.
I wish I can get any T-shirt I wanted for free.
That's a good call. See, that's practical. Yeah. I picked a shitty answer.
Yeah.
I picked an answer that, of course, an alcoholic would pick. Man, you know what I wish I could have forever? Liquor. Like, no. Clothes, food.
This will be the last one.
Okay.
If you trained your son from birth to his 21st birthday to fight a gorilla, would he still stand a chance?
If I trained him, no. If I trained him, sorry, Skedios, you're dead from the gorilla. The gorilla has now murdered you. Yes. And I'm out a son, and I don't get 50. Actually, he's the one that I dropped in the cage for $50,000.
It's a win-win.
So, yikes.
That's a waste of 21 years.
Yep. Sorry, bro.
You didn't even land a punch.
Nope. Nope. To be fair, I wasn't teaching you to do that.
I just wanted that 50 grand. Boy.
I just wanted the 50 grand. The only thing I taught him was how to like get in the fetal position. And it turns out the gorilla did not give a shit. Yeah. And just beat him mercilessly.
So if you want to ask your friends questions about masturbation and their sex life, you can buy Answer the Internet Questions from Barstool Sports. Then there also is Pod Deck questions that you can get as well.
I'm assuming Pod Deck questions have less questions about semen and masturbation.
Way more less questions about that. It's more like, what was your baddest childhood moment?
What the fuck?
Like
I could have answered those?
Yeah, like wholesome questions. I said I would go get them, and you said no,
I know,
and
I was just trying to be so deferential. I'm like, no, this is great.
Next episode.
All right, Terrayne, what do you masturbate to, and how often, and what time, and turn your laptop on while you do it.
That's how we do it at Interviews with Everyday People, and this is why we're not sponsored.
Today's sponsor is RedTube.
Yeah, RedTube. Spank Bank or whatever. I don't even know if it's a weird website.
Spankbank.com? Is that a place?
Check it out. Let me know.
Guys, Google spankbank.com.
At your work computer.
On your work computer. We want to make sure that this is legit.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
We got to come back on again. Man.
This is very, very fun, and I am very grateful that you asked me to.
Yeah. Come back on, and well, guys, go check out Alcoholitics and Getting Blitzed. So if you're a sports guy, go check out Getting Blitzed. If you're into politics, go check out Alcoholitics. He works really hard. 2 shows. It's not easy to do, so I respect your hustle, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll come back on, and we'll do something again very soon.
I want to answer questions from the other deck.
All right. We'll go to pod decks.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Here's some Timmy Mingle for you guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
I just wanna get off of the floor. I just wanna get off of the floor. 'Cause I still can't sleep without medication. And I let my thoughts run